Good evening, I'm Caroline O, together with Uma Pagan and PK Pagan.
Hey!
Yeah, on In Conversation today we have a very special guest with us. F1 fever is upon us here in Kuala Lumpur, so we're welcoming none other than Heikki Kovalainen, the F1 driver for Team Lotus. Heikki, welcome to Malaysia. Welcome back to Malaysia, rather. Nice to have you back with us.
Yeah, thank you very much. May I correct first? It's Heikki.
Heikki! There you go.
Kovalainen. Good to know.
Okay.
Yeah, greatest finish in sport, export since Nokia.
Absolutely. Right. So when did you get in, Heikki?
Well, actually, I arrived here before the first Grand Prix in Melbourne, a week before that, and I spent the first week here before going to Melbourne, and then just coming back straight after the race on Monday morning, and been here since then all week.
Oh.
Right, cool. Are you glad to be back? Is Malaysia one of your highlights?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I spend more and more time in this country. Obviously, the connection with Team Lotus now, a lot of Malaysian people involved, and the more I've been here, the more I've enjoyed the country, and I really like to come back here. There's fantastic things that I enjoy doing here, so that's the reason why I always come back here. I don't feel I need to go anywhere else around the islands or anything like that. I enjoy here around KL.
Okay. Excellent. Yeah, and do you ever come into KL for, anything aside from work? Like, do you come in for holidays, things like that?
I don't really have holidays during the season, to be honest. The time between the races is as holiday as it gets for me in my life. But I don't go anywhere really for a holiday. So I spend a lot of time between the races in different places, and when we are on the eastern part of this tour, I spend most of my time here in KL.
Cool. Recently, not too long ago, you said in your Twitter feed that you love Malaysians, and you said that they could do a lot of cool things together and pull together instead of fighting among each other, right? What was that about? I mean,
well, I was actually hanging around in the city, in the town,
yeah,
and looking at the Twin Towers at night. It's an awesome view, first of all, and then just my feeling that the people that I meet, and I think there are a lot of talented people. There's a lot of potential in this country. I see there's a lot of wealth in this country. There's many things that other countries don't necessarily have, and I think if they all pull together, and for example in the Formula 1 world, if they all pull together, they would have another Red Bull quite easily. So that's what I say.
Okay. All right, so you were referring to F1 specifically and not because the impression that I thought it was political in nature.
Yes, yeah. but we weren't sure how well aware you were about politics anyway.
No, so. I'm not a politician. I'm not want to get into it at all. I know some of the Finnish politicians. I know our Prime Minister, for example, personally very well. And he's also a sportsman, but apart from that, I'm a racing driver, not a politician.
Okay. Now you travel all over the place, and F1 locations are really varied. You have US, Shanghai, Spain, and all that. So aside from circuits, what aspects of countries tend to interest you the most?
Well, funnily enough, I've learned to enjoy the heat. I love it when the sun is out.
Which is completely opposite to where you come from.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, I spend every winter back at home when we have a time after the season, so I go back home in Finland, and I enjoy the sunshine, the snow, and the frozen lakes and everything like that. But more and more, in the last sort of 3-4 years that I've gone to the races in the hot countries and sunny countries, I've started to enjoy the heat, and that's why I really like wherever we go, if possible. I'd like to be out in the sun, and also I want to have places where there's a good facilities to do a lot of sports. I do a lot of fitness myself, obviously, for the racing season, and to get ready, and also I enjoy playing golf. So find some good golf courses. That's another important factor when deciding where we go.
Well, I mean, you travel a lot and you spend so much time in every part of the world. Do you think has it become something accustomed? Do countries feel foreign to you anymore, or are you just at home everywhere?
I mean, my home at the moment is around the world, but of course my home country is Finland.
Yeah.
But I spend probably more time everywhere else than I spend in Finland at the moment, and that's purely because the profession takes me around the world. So I'd say at the moment it's living from the suitcase.
Right. How often do you get back to Finland?
About 2 or 3 times a year, and mainly the Christmas time. So after the season, the whole December, after the January, I spend there with my family, North Finland, and then during the season, probably after Chinese Grand Prix, I go there for a while, and then in August when we have a 3 weeks break, I go back there again. So that's about it.
And that's kind of the only time you get to see your family?
No, not really. They come to see me in other places, and they come and visit us when we back at our Swiss base, back at home there, or they come to some of the countries.
How big is this family of yours?
It's quite big. I mean, my closest family. I've got one brother, one sister, mom and dad, and then of course the relatives. So.
Okay, good stuff. All right, we're with Heikki Kovalainen this evening on In Conversation. Heikki, your first song choice for us is this one. In fact, I think it must be your favorite band. You've chosen 2 songs from them. The Night Wish. The song is The Poet and the Pendulum. Why did you choose this one?
It's been one of my favorite bands, or the favorite band for quite a few years now. I've learned to know the guys personally as well. I played a bit of music also with them last year. I played drums myself, and this song is from the first song of the latest album, and it's got a little bit of everything the Night Wish can produce: slow, fast, light, heavy. It's got a bit of everything. It's over 13 minutes long, and that's why I decided at the moment I think it's the favorite song.
All right. Thank you very much. We'll be back with Heikki in just a bit. Stay with us right now. It's time for The Night Wish, The Poet and the Pendulum. BFM 89.9.
Hey there, welcome back to In Conversation. I'm Wapagan Ampake here with Caroline O, and we're talking to Heikki Kovalainen, F1 driver, Finnish export. I want to talk to you a little bit about your career, actually. You started in the early 90s, and was it in kart racing, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's correct. In fact, the first time I've ever got into touch with go-karts was when I was 6 years old. So that was 87. But then it was 91 when I started to do it again, sort of just go more often races and together with my father.
Yep.
And that's where I started.
And of course, you were doing it for a while, and then recognition kind of came later when you won the Finnish Formula A championships.
That's correct.
Was that 2000 or 99?
That was 2000.
2000. And what do you think was that? What do you think was the turning point? Because obviously that was 10 years between starting and. Is it a time thing? Does it just take time to achieve that level? Or?
I don't know exactly what you mean.
No, I mean
the turning point in my career.
In your career, yeah.
Well, it was certainly a turning point when I joined the Renault Driver Development Program in 2002.
Mm-hmm.
It was after my first year in the single seaters. In 2001, I went to England to race in the British Formula Renault Championship, but I was still as a privateer.
Mm-hmm.
And then for the year after, I was chosen to the Renault Driver Development Program, which obviously helped me a lot to go further forward in my career. I got a Flavio Briatore as my manager at that point, so
cool.
it became more realistic at that point that it is possible to achieve Formula 1 if things go well.
Okay, so when you actually got into karting, it's rallying karting, right? So when you first got into karting, you didn't imagine that you would, be racing for F1 one day. I mean, were those thoughts not in your mind at all?
I mean, I was 6 years old.
Yeah.
So I was 6 years old. You might dream of things, but
Yeah.
you don't really know the reality.
Right.
So it was very interesting. I enjoyed it. I felt quite comfortable, what I remember. But at that time I was playing football. I was playing ice hockey. I was doing other things with my friends, and you just don't know. But it was probably at the end of 90s, early 2000 when it really became more serious. And as soon as I joined the Renault Driver Development Program, then I started systematically work on just becoming a race driver, improving my skills. So that's when I first time realized that this is a possibility, and that's when I started to target to become a Formula driver.
Okay.
But was it one of those things where at any point in your life did you think I want to be an investment banker? Or was it just vroom vroom?
No, I when I was very young, my mom tells me that I had one plan that I wanted to be a lorry driver. So
Right.
he was involved already with the cars.
With driving,
And
yeah.
I was co-driving quite a lot of local lorry drivers in Finland when I was very, very young. Even earlier than my first time in go-karts in 87. I didn't really think very much, and I don't think things too deep. You know, I go with the feeling more, and I go with the flow, and I just felt, you know, racing felt the easiest for me. The ice hockey, I was too small, and football was not so interested eventually, and school, you know, I felt that, you know, I'm not that good in mathematics, I'm not that good at physics, I'm not that good at things, I better go racing. And it just felt natural, and my family supported me, and that's how we ended up in this direction. And I suppose you need a little bit of talent, but I certainly was very interested, and, you know, I was ready to work hard to improve the skills that I felt that, you know, I already had.
Okay.
So,
You say your family supported you. This is from the start, right? We would like to know whether or not you had to convince them that it was a viable career option, because the percentage of people, you know, people who make it to the top in this industry is very small, right?
No, I never had to convince anyone. Of course, you know, we always had to be realistic, and you know, the opportunities that we had and options. You know, my father is not a rich man, or we are not a rich family, so we had limitations, of course. But my father was very, you know, very much the main man to support me, and my mother as well. You know, and he did a lot of extra work, and, you know, to be honest, he put, I think, a lot of physically a lot of cash that he could have. You know, he put into my career, and of course it was risk for him, but I suppose he felt that it was worth taking, and he perhaps saw that, you know, there is you know, something there that, you know, could one day work out, and it did. So thanks to him, you know, we are here today.
Because you guys, karting's quite popular in Finland, and you know, you have a lot of exports. Heikkinen, Räikkönen, isn't. I think Rosberg was initially. Kiki Rosberg is Finnish. Yeah. So what's in the drinking water? I mean, what is it about Finnish people that, why are you so fast?
It is a question that many people ask very often, but I don't think there is one answer to that question. But for sure, one thing is that we start very early. We have a lot of, especially in the winter, we have a lot of lakes and closed roads. You know, you can take your son there, and you know, out of the public roads. I remember when I was young, my father took me to the lakes, and we stopped. You know, as soon as I started to reach the pedals, and I was driving the car, and not necessarily going fast, but just learning to press the clutch and select the gear, and, you know, throttle and brake and control the thing. And we start very, very early. And I suppose other thing, you know, we have a long winter, slippery roads. You know, even an average grandma has to be able to control the car to go shopping. So maybe this is another thing, but apart from that, I don't know what is the correct answer. We just have a great heritage. You know, we have a lot of yeah, exactly. And the motorsport is the #1 sport in Finland. We are very passionate about it, and Finnish population, the people, they are very demanding. You know, and they know to watch the score all the time.
Okay, so for a place like Finland to the world stage, I mean, was it hard for you to adjust to the glamorous lifestyle at all?
No, not really. I've never been interested in the glamour too much, and you know, my family has kept me down to earth all the time. If I've ever, you know, started to go the other dimensions or other directions, they've always pulled me back. But in the end, I just love racing. I just love working for the team, you know, and getting everything out of the team, out of the car. And then, you know, whenever I have a little bit of spare time, I enjoy working and spending that with my friends or with my family. That's all.
Okay. You refer to your family quite a bit here. Tell us a little bit about your family, because I saw this on your Twitter feed. You seem to have a very close relationship with them, although you're away all the time. You said you were having annual checkups with your family, and there was a picture, I think, of your dad, if I'm not mistaken?
Yeah, that's right. I've already talked to them the last few years, and they should go and do the medical checkups and you know, get them checked if they're all healthy. Although they seem fine, but you just never know. When my mom is 60 and my father is 57 or whatever he is now. So eventually this January I took them both to a medical center in Switzerland.
Right.
And okay, 3 days you spend here, and they do all sorts of tests. And they did all sorts of tests, and the picture that you're referring to was when my father was doing actually a cardio, like a heart check, under like a stress test.
Like a stress test, yeah.
And he passed it very well. He did a good result, so that's why I thought I'd put the results, and he was knackered, but they were both in a good health, and that was good to know. But you know, of course, they've done a lot for me, and my family has always supported. So, you know, now I can maybe do something back to them. So that's the #1 priority if and when there is an opportunity.
I guess it must be quite tough because you miss birthdays, anniversaries. How do you, like, how often do you speak to them? How do you keep that close ties? Do you speak to them every day? Do you Skype?
No, not every day, but we do Skype every week, and you know, we see whenever possible. Same with my brother or with my sister. But it's just something that, you know, they understand the career that I have now, and I understand the situation as well. And you know, it works naturally. We don't actually need to take any stress about it. You know, sometimes if I'm busy at the race weekends and you know I don't call or they don't call, it's fine. It's a very, very good relationship that we don't need to take any stress about it. So
That's
it's
very nice.
easy for me.
It's all about time management, they say. Now, so through your career in motorsports, so let's go with this. What has been your proudest moment so far? It may not have had to be the biggest moment, but proudest for you. What meant the most to you?
In motorsport,
Yes.
I mean, the best moment so far in my career is winning a Grand Prix, winning the Hungarian Grand Prix in 2008. I thought it was the best goal, and you know, after that, you know, you just want to repeat it more often. But so far, that's the best moment in my career.
Do you have a quick question about shifting teams? Actually, your motivations from moving from a top tier team to someone who's just starting out. Do you find that more motivating, or do you find it harder? You know, from moving from a big name team to a small.
No, I felt after my 2 years at McLaren that you know I needed a change. It didn't work out like we all were hoping that it would work out, and I felt that rather than going somewhere in the middle of the pack and you know, just trying to stay in Formula one extra year and see what happens, I felt that I needed to do a totally different start, and I was very excited about the plans when I met first time Tony Fernandez about Team Lotus, and I thought, let's go for it. Let's take a totally different direction and start from zero and build a team from zero. And so far, no regrets. And I'm very, very motivated. I'm very happy. Of course, we all want to get the results, so we're working very hard to achieve that.
Excellent. And you're racing with Jarno Trulli.
That's right.
And are you guys buddies? Everything's.
Yeah, everything's fine. I mean, Jarno is a very easygoing guy. He's a very good teammate, very quick.
Yeah.
He's a good reference. So we always try to push each other. You know, we push the team very hard. You know, to make improvements. You know, to give the direction to the team all the time, and give the feedback. And it works very, very well with Jarno. We have no issues. And of course, I don't expect any favors from him on the track. So whenever he's behind me or in front of me, I know that he'll do everything to beat me. But that's what keeps the team, you know, in a good spirits and good situation, because this is what he needs. Otherwise, it's too easy to relax.
Because that's what's tricky about F1, and that's what I love about it. The fact that most people don't realize that even though you're in a team, you still are competing with each other, right? Because you both want to win.
Yeah, absolutely. But I mean, ultimately, we work for the team. So if we ever have to make a decision, you know, the team always goes ahead.
Yeah,
you have to be quite careful. You can cause a lot of troubles inside the team if you don't obey that.
Yeah.
But you know, our team and the management of the team and all the people in the team and near the race team have given us a freedom. You know, you can race guys as hard as you want. Make sure you don't take each other's out, don't crash into each other. But apart from that, you know, it's your job there to do as well as you can. So they've been very open, and you know, myself and Jarno, we know the score that we can push each other, but we need to give enough room to not have an accident together. That's worthwhile.
Okay. Now, you know, you seem to be, I don't know, moving from one team to another. These are really, really big changes, aren't they? And you said that you don't like to plan. So, I mean, looking forward, what's the shelf life for an F1 driver like?
Shelf life.
Oh, as in, how long of a career does an F1 driver usually have? How many years? And
I think it varies. I don't think there's a.
There isn't a specific age.
Exactly, there isn't. I mean, Schumacher is now whatever, 42 or 43. He started when he was 20-something.
Okay.
And you know, some people they stop earlier. So it's just to, you know, whenever you feel that the motivation is not there, the fire is not there, then it's time to stop. But at the moment, you know, I don't feel none of that. You know, in fact, I feel better than I've ever felt in my career, physically, mentally. I'm well balanced. I'm very happy about my life. And now I just want to have a good car to make the results.
Okay. All right. So on a personal front, let's move there then. Any unfulfilled goals that you have? Perhaps marriage, children, all that sort of thing. in the pipelines for
What's
you?
next?
What do you want?
Yeah, surely at some point, I've been going out with my girlfriend for many years already now, and I'm sure at some point we'll get married and we'll want to have a family and settle down somewhere, but it's not something that we think about at the moment. It's really going racing. We both like going traveling at the moment. We both enjoy being away from home, so it's just good that she comes everywhere with me, so we can spend a lot of time together, which works perfectly for us. And maybe eventually I'd like to be involved with in some kind of business. I'm into fitness, into sports. Maybe one day have something on that side, or maybe do something for my country, Finland. Like I said, I know the foreign minister really well there, and maybe in the future if I could do something on that side,
so
it would be great.
So home, so your plans are eventually to return home. I mean, Finland is where you want to set up base.
No, I didn't say that. I at the moment it's just very difficult to imagine where I will be after my career. It just depends on which direction I end up going. But I think one thing is sure that I've grown to be an international person, so I will never be just based in one place. I don't think.
Right.
I need to move. I need to travel a little bit in my life, even if it's after my racing career. Maybe be involved in some sort of business, worldwide business hopefully. But of course, I'd like to do something also for my country. And I've offered many times to help if I can do anything for the country. For example, now the disaster in Japan, I called the minister and said, if there's anything I can do, just let me know. And he said, that's fine, that's cool. So to be involved in something like that would be great as well.
Cool. What are your hopes? What are your hopes for this year? For this in F1, I mean, and also for this race on Sunday?
Well, the only target for myself personally this year is to score points in Formula 1. This got to be the target, and it's a tough goal, but it's a waste of time to think anything else. And this weekend, same applies. So we're targeting the points. Of course, it's a tough conditions, it's a tough race, but it's just those are other issues and that is as well.
Do you have a favorite track?
Yeah, I mean, generally I've liked the street circuits because they are challenging. I mean, Monte Carlo is the most hardcore circuit that you can get in Formula 1 car.
Right.
It's so narrow, but you're going so fast, so it's very different to anything else. And then some of the high-speed circuits, I mean, Japan is great, Suzuka is great in Japan, Silverstone in England, funny enough, is very, very good.
Yeah.
It's high speed, so generally the high speed when you can get the Formula 1 car going flat out is good. But Monte Carlo is special, and to win one day in Monte Carlo would be fantastic.
Yeah, that was his moment last year for those of you who missed the race in Singapore, which
That's
was
right.
great. Heikki jumps out of his car's on fire, and he doesn't go into a pit stop, he jumps out of the car and puts out the fire himself. And the crowd goes crazy. It's awesome.
That was a great moment, and I mean, of course, we had actually a good race coming there. We were fighting, and I had a little collision with Sebastian Buemi, and we just got fire in my car. And in fact, that pictures and the moments from that picture won the Moment of the Year award in the Autosport Awards in England. So you can see actually that there was a little bit of people have more panic around it. Than I had actually, because I jumped out of the car and said, where's the fire extinguisher, can I shut it? Stop the fire,
Yeah, it's on YouTube, so you can go look.
Yeah,
you can go look at it.
It was good fun.
Okay, we're gonna wrap with one final song from you this evening. Again, The Night Wish, and you've chosen to go with this one, For the Heart I Once Had. Why this song?
This is the very much the more sort of gentle side of Night Wish, and I like also I like good instruments and good vocals. The female singer that they have. This is the more sort of the wind down after the race kind of music. And that's what I think.
All right. On that note, I'd just like to say thank you very much for joining us this evening. It's been a pleasure speaking with you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Bye.
All right, here we go. Night Wish. I'm sorry, I can't find it. All right. Night Wish, For the Heart I Once Had. Wrapping up in conversation with Heikki Kovalainen this evening. BFM 89.9.